fighter, always have been. In the ring and in business. 30 years of battles, rising, falling, rebuilding. I've made money, I've lost money, but it wasn't until I created Zapata Systems was I able to really climb my way out. But the toughest fight, it wasn't physical. It was watching money walk out the door week after week, whether to vendors charging too much or labor not justifying the revenue. That money stress, it doesn't always stay at work. It follows you home, turns into arguments, cold dinners, and broken peace. And then there's the IRS, back taxes, deadlines, pressure you can't punch your way out of. Zapata Systems shows you what you're really paying. It gives you control, leverage, and savings. This isn't about surviving. It's about winning. You're in a fight. Start acting like it. Zapata Systems. Fight smarter.
Yo, yo, yo. It is Thursday. We are live. I'm Joe Zapata with my boy, Gregg Valentino. What's up, Gregg?
I got the blue tongue. Joe goes to me before the show. He goes, what do you got? Like blue all over your mouth. It's because I had the game face. They're blue. I put them in my mouth and I'm like looking around, getting a drink. But they like the fucking capsule melts. It happens to me all the time at the gym. The guys at the gym are always like, dude, what are you eating? Like blue candy or something? Like, why is your mouth always blue? And I'm like, because of the fucking game face is blue.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They say I put them in my mouth. And I'll sit here like this for a second. And as soon as I, by the time I get to drink and then drink it,
mm-hmm.
It's in my, it's like fucking.
All right, Dizzin Los is in the chat. It says, yo, my brother.
Hey,
what's going on?
I got it. I got your message. He sent me a great message with your brother sent me a great message with what's his name? Fucking oh Jesus Christ.
Who are you talking about?
Stephen A. Stephen A.
Yes.
Yeah, the one with Stephen A. Where Stephen A's because dude, Stephen A's he's funky. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that guy's gonna fucking ever win. Like I think he wants to run for president. Hannity keeps pumping him up. You should run. But dude, he's one of those guys. I like him and I don't like him. I hate when he starts that fucking Black Lives Matter shit and everything he still plays the whole victim stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep, I know. Mike M 1388 says, Momos, what's up? Of course, our friend Dan is in there. Dan, yes, sir. William Allen says, hey guys.
William.
Smalls is in there, even gentlemen.
There you go.
It says, this says, thought he was eating out a Smurf with the blue tongue. I guess so. Maybe.
Yeah, Lucia had blue fucking shit on her twat. No, it happens to me all the time. I'm somewhere and people are like, dude, you're like, your lips are blue. And I'm like, what? And then I realize, what the fuck? And then I realize, oh, it's the stupid game face. I feel like I can see it still, but
yeah, exactly, man. It looks like you blew Papa Smurf. It says LOL. So, Gregg, I saw that UFO thing you were telling me about.
Oh, remember? You did.
I did see it finally 3 times. I actually even put up. I even have a little thing here I could put up right here. The picture of what it looks like if you can see it on the screen right now. You see it? There's the UFO and there's the Hellfire missile, and I saw it and it bounced right off of it.
The missile goes like this and it breaks apart, but the fucking UFO just keeps going.
Wow. I saw that. I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy.
Well, you know what I meant to send you too? I tried to send you this. I don't know if you looked it up because you probably forgot, but maybe you didn't. Is that, remember we talked about the judge in that case where she let go of the fucking that black dude that stabbed that chick in the neck?
Yes.
Then I said that judge never went to school, never went to college or anything. She was just appointed a judge. She has no law degree, nothing. And there's a bunch of them, and I didn't know this, but there was actually a Supreme Court judge, I think in the 1940s, that never went to school, never had no law degree.
Mm-hmm. Wow,
that shit, that's fucked up.
Now, Gregg, you believe in UFOs?
Just when I
After
see
seeing that video.
Lucia's mother, I know that that's like the missing link and shit.
Well, that's an alien, that's right.
That's it. That's an alien for sure. You know what I mean? Dude, she got a fucking citizenship. I don't know how whatever. I told you, did it right before the 2 weeks before the fucking election. You know, they went over there and you know, you're gonna vote for a fucking Democrat? Yes. You know, go right in the fucking factory there. But what was I gonna say? You know, I don't know. I do and I don't. You know what I mean? I do and I don't. But after seeing that shit, there's something definitely. You know what I mean? I guess there is. You know,
gotta be something, right? The dude, 1983, says we got Bush.
Yes, we do, and it's blue. But you know, the thing is though, Joe, you know, there is like things throughout history. Like I told you, Christopher Columbus swore, you know, in his diaries, you know, was a piece of shit in my opinion. But whatever. Even though like Italians, you know, like Columbus Day, dun, 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 dun. He wrote in his diaries that he was standing on the deck. It was like midnight or something, you know, and a fucking next thing you knew, the whole ocean was lighting up, and all of a sudden this thing comes right up out of the water and into the sky. And you know, now back then they didn't know what UFOs were. He had no fucking clue what the hell it was, but he just said it looked like the sun or something. So I guess, you know, and you know what, Joe? How is there fucking carvings in the caves and shit like that from fucking 4,000, 10,000 years ago? And they have like what looks like spacemen and fucking rockets and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you don't know, you know?
I don't know. I do believe in it. I think they are around. So,
but you know what, Joe? You know what I also think? I could be wrong because I'm never right. But it could be like a Star Trek type thing. Like it could be us, like in the year 3000 fucking 500, you know, and that like they can't interfere, but they're watching. You know what I mean? Like it could be us, like in the future, looking at us now. You know what I'm saying? Like Star Trek shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, but is there little fucking gray men? Maybe, you know.
Yeah, but with your mother-in-law, we've seen little hairy women, right?
Dude, so, she's too heavy to sit in a fucking UFO, would be flying sideways like this.
Brian Pablo, long time no see, Momo.
Brian, holy shit, Brian, are you still alive? Brian, are you in that UFO?
I don't know.
We haven't seen you. I thought maybe the UFOs captured you or something over there.
Yeah, the anal probe, right? I think that's what you got before this, the blue probe in your mouth.
The blue probe. Yeah, again. The blue tongue, that's because of the game face. If you guys just tuned in, wherever the game face. I put the capsules in my mouth and they just melt right away. And then as soon as by the time I get the drink, I get blue tongue.
Yep. Ruben Sanchez is there. I think you sent him some game face.
I think my girlfriend, it's from, she works with Mitch, you know what I mean? So I think she does. Yeah, Ruben. Yeah, Ruben's one of the guys. Ruben, I don't know if you take it, Ruben, a blue tongue right there, baby. If you put it in your mouth, even for like just like 10 seconds, and then you're like getting a drink while going in your mouth, and you're sitting there, and because I take like 3 or 4 of them in one shot, you know, so they're sitting in my mouth, and I fucking drink it. Next thing you know, the guys in the gym are always like, "Bro, are you wearing like lipstick? What is that blue shit? Or are you eating candy?"
Yeah, we got somebody in there who said he's Zapata Industries. What's the most Chris Clark's painless pump Gregg has ever pinned? I guess he must be.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if that's my friend or not, but you know, whoever that is has got to get a life, get a life.
Every week he's a new person, I guess.
Yeah, every week. What's the most you've ever pinned? I don't know. What's the most you ever pinned? Tell me.
Yeah. You know, I don't even know why he doesn't just use his real name.
Because you know what? These fucking guys are shot, man. If it's my friend, that he has, you know, it's his humor. I'll call you if it's who I think it is. I'll call you. But even if it's not him, I know he's one of the guys on here. He's slipped a few times. But
Knight Rider says there are a lot of videos of UFOs that Congress has revealed. It's no secret now, but they exist. I think they do.
I mean, but are they the little gray men, or what the fuck are they? I have no idea. You know what I mean? All I know is, if you're them, right, and you a missile fucking hits off your ship and explodes and shit, they obviously could be like, "Oh, you want to fucking play?" You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't shoot back. I mean, they just fly away. But they could fuck us up because you know what the most interesting thing is about that? The guy from NASA that was sitting there talking before Congress said the craziest thing is we like heat sensor that shit and everything, and he said it throws they're not flying, they're not using fuel, there's no heat, there's no exhaust that comes from that They can tell. Like, so they're saying we don't know what they're using to fly, like how it's going through the air. It's not burning like fuel and shit, you know.
Mike M says Sasquatch. Guess he's talking
Sasquatch.
about.
Well, that's my mother-in-law. You know, my girlfriend's mother. She's the Yeti. She's the missing link. You know what I mean? Her back tits are bigger than her front tits. But
John Soley says, "What's up, fellas?"
John, how you doing, John, my brother?
What's up? Dan says that his uncle, who was in the Navy and in the 70s, said he saw an orb come out of the ocean when he was out in the sea.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Dan. It's fucking. I mean, you're talking about Christopher Columbus. You know, how many fucking 500-600 years ago, whatever that was, it's said that the ocean lit up. And, you know, him and a bunch of guys were on the deck. It was like fucking midnight, he said. And the ocean lit up. And then just this thing came up out of the water and fucking shot out. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, he didn't know what it was. I mean, back then they weren't like, it's a UFO. You know what I mean? Yeah. He just wrote it was like a strange thing. They didn't know what the fuck it was. He said it looked like the sun coming up.
Wow. John Scuderi said Kai Green is an alien.
He is, John. John, Kai Green I like Kai Green, but he's definitely a fucking strange guy. He looks like the California raisin to me. Yeah. But
Ruben Sanchez says Columbus was high.
He probably was. You know, he wasn't a nice guy, you know what I'm saying? But he was a guinea who fucking, like, the Italians were like, look, we're not paying for you to fucking go around and go boating around here. So he went to the Spanish and they're like, okay, fuck it, you know?
Yep. William Allen says aliens have nothing to gain if they invaded Earth. They'd be with more aliens.
But you know what's funny? The question is, if they landed that ship here in the United States, would Trump send ICE to have them fucking taken out?
Wow.
Or would they be like, I'd sit back going, dude, you shot a missile. We fucking, you know, bounced off us. You want to fucking play? You know what I'm saying? Right? Think about that.
That's true. That's true. Ruben Sanchez, the only aliens I've seen are brown. Yep.
Yes, Ruben.
Yeah, so the dude says, fellas, do you think it matters what time you inject your TRT?
No. Nope. It's the stupidest thing. You know, Gold's Gym back in the day, and a lot of gyms I've been to, you see needles in the garbage, and I'm like, there are idiots that really believe, like, I got to take my shot and then go work out. You know what I mean? That's just stupid. It's not like that. It's not like a pre-workout. First of all, it takes you a while for your body to absorb it. That's why some shit, like, you know, lasts like a week and a half, you know what I mean? Cypionate, entonate, you know, each one's fat, you know, entonate's the longest acting, cypionate's the medium, and then propionate's faster, but still, it's not like you take a shot and like, here I come to save the day. Yeah, you know what I mean?
All the time. Two guys in the parking lot be poking each other in their car, and I'd be like, come on. Man.
Yeah, or right. It's the stupidest thing. You know.
What he said, Brian says, I've missed so much, brother. Been going through some significant life changes and riding through the wave, like you said.
Okay, Brian, if you need to talk, man, hit me up. I hope everything's good with you. As long as everything's good with you and the family, whatever work you can handle, that you can ride that shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Knight Rider said they are interdimensional. Even Congress and Air Force has said that. Yeah, I agree, Knight Rider. There's
Knight Rider, it's the strangest thing. They said that they know that whatever that ship was, it flies at amazing speed, and they said there's no exhaust, there's no heat, it doesn't give off a heat signal. They said, as far as they know, that it's not using fuel. They don't know how the fuck they're making that thing go. So, you know.
John Scuderi said, Greg, Lucia, send a mofo some game face.
Yeah, right. With a blue tongue.
Dirt Diggler, I was smoking meth last night, so UFO.
Oh shit. Yeah, well, that's what happens. When you fucking do that. You know, the craziest shit is when you got these people. Like, I know this is nuts, but I have a doctor. It's a woman doctor that.
The one I know.
Yeah, yes.
Oh God.
And she like does all that ayahuasca, like DMT, and she'll be like, yeah, me and my father had this like long talk last night, and we had a big argument, and then I told him this morning, I'm like, well, your father's been dead for a while, so I don't know how you have an argument. She goes, no, but he comes down and he talks to me, and we have this big fucking, and I'm like, stop fucking doing all that DMT shit, will you please? Because even like Rogan, when they talk about that shit, they're like, you're talking like beings on the other side. Dude, you're hallucinating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Your dead Uncle Tanous is not fucking sitting there with you, like you need to get a job,
What do you think of Jimmy Kimmel? getting fired.
Listen, Tucker Carlson was fired. Did anybody cry over that? You know what the problem with Jimmy Kimmel was? Is that he wasn't hitting the ratings. 2 of the affiliates were already like, we're dumping him. We can't handle him. You know what I mean? Because he's not funny. He does political show. There's nothing funny anymore. They don't do jokes anymore. It's just he almost does like news because their hatred is so great. There's nothing funny about it. The show's dead. The network's losing money on those shows. So they're like fucking, they need an excuse, Those networks, since when does ABC and any of those networks like Trump, like they fired him and then Trump came out and said, good, It's not like, Trump called them up and said, fire him. You think they're going to listen to Trump? Yeah, are you fucking serious? No, they were looking for a reason. What did Brian just say? Is he all right?
Yeah, he said, "Hey George, not good."
Oh,
George,
okay.
Long time, no see, man. Yeah. Megan says it was a hematoma, not synthol, silly.
Yes, thank you, Steve. Thank you, Megan. But it's just, everybody there fucking, listen, free speech is free speech, right? It doesn't look what happened with COVID. If you fucking dare say, look, how many people lost their jobs because they said, I don't want to take the vaccine. You know what I mean? I have the right. I don't want to take, or I don't want to wear a mask. I don't want to put a mask on my fucking 6-month-old. You understand what I'm saying? They had a woman who was in a bank who was in her 90s, and she was like, getting money out, and she kept taking her mask down, and they tackled her and dragged her out of the bank and shit. You know what I mean? 6 feet. You know what I mean? It's like, what happened to all that shit? What happened to Gavin Newsom sending cops out there? Remember there was a guy paddle boarding off the ocean, out in the ocean, and the fucking cops come up in a jet ski, and they gave him a fucking summons because he didn't have a mask. So what's he gonna do? Get the sharks? Fucking, they're gonna get COVID.
That's crazy.
You can question. You can say, listen, consequently, you could. What happened if you said anything about BLM, or if you said anything about what happened if you challenge somebody about their pronouns, right? In California, they said you can get locked up if you don't, if you're, listen, I know more trannies than any of you guys, and you know that. I don't give a shit. I'll bang it right in the can if it's hot, but I'll give her ham in a can. Listen to me. I don't give a shit, and so will most of you guys, but you don't want to admit it when you're looking at your tranny porn. But listen to what I'm trying to tell you. They're not trannies. That's not a tranny. Transgender is a fucking real thing, but it's rare. It's very, very rare. These people today that are coming out, like I was in a gym, right? And some, two guys were talking, and we were like right next to me, and I talked with them and shit, and they're young guys, right? They're in high school. And one guy goes, dude, did you see that tranny, the one that's in 10th grade? Did you see what it was actually, he was talking about a girl that actually became a guy, right? She was like, did you see that with that fucking girl, dude, whatever the fuck? And I go, wait a minute. You got a tranny in your fucking school, And he goes, what? He goes, we got like 20 of them, And I'm like, holy shit. How many went to school with you, Joe? None, right? None went to school with me. I'm saying, now they're everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, even like this kid that shot Charlie Kirk. Did you see the fucking thing what they were saying about that his parents, they made a deal because he wanted to kill himself. So they called, his father was best friends with like a detective that was retired. So they call up, did you see that thing? They said they made a deal. He would come in, but he did not want like SWAT team to pull him in. He didn't want that. He would walk in on his own, but he wanted just to be, you could escort me, but I want detectives, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be in a room lock myself. I want my parents there. Wait, dude, you're in your 20s. You know what I mean? And they were there, and they had to give him food and drink. And he said, I want to be treated, with, easy. I don't want to be badgered or anything. And so they did it. They went along with it. And when the prosecutor said, listen, I would have went along with anything just to get him here. You know what I mean? Because he was going to kill himself. But the thing is, this is what we're dealing with. His lover was not a tranny. That was a dude, bro. That's a dude. And that's the problem. Remember when Gavin Newsom in California was having, back like fucking, towards the COVID shit, when all the COVID shit was hitting, they controlled everything he did. And they were trying to say that in California, that if you misgendered somebody, you would go to jail. Free speech, bro. Do that in England. I dare you right now, go to fucking England. Go misgender somebody in England, or go put out a meme. You go to jail. So don't give me that fucking bullshit. Free speech, it's free speech, but there's consequences. You can run in fucking a bunch of, a club with all black dudes and yell out the N-word, right? You have the right to do that. You can do that, but you're going to suffer the consequences, right?
Yep. Yeah,
So,
that's crazy.
I mean, so don't give me that shit. But when you have these people fucking, saying all this shit about how evil this guy is or how evil that guy is, you're creating a fucking, what's going on. What is this now, Charlie?
Did you hear about the story with the nurse from New Jersey who got suspended?
Yeah. Do you want a doctor working on you, Joe?
Yeah, the doctor was
working on you. Supposing you had like a fucking, I don't know, you were in a car accident and you're laying there like this, and you happen to have like a MAGA hat in your car, or like you're wearing a shirt and they got to cut it off you. And he's like, wait a minute, Trump, this guy's a MAGA supporter. Fuck him. Let him lay there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
so suspended the girl, and the doctor wasn't, but then they reversed it and the doctor got fired, and she got her job back. She actually works out at Retro Fitness.
Does she really?
Her name is yes. I tried to reach out to her to see if she would come on, but just to talk about it. But I think the hospital and HR
tell her I have a problem. I got a blue tongue.
Yeah. Knight Rider said, in broad daylight, I saw two large silver triangles and a plane height hovering in the sky. One disappeared and one flew over around 5,000 km faster than any man-made craft.
Yeah, Knight Rider, listen, I believe it. I don't know what they are. I have no idea what it is. I do know that the government's saying that it's not something that thing is not driven by fuel. They don't know what the fuck. They're using something, but they can go like the fucking speed of light so fast, and they can go up and down like where you can't, you can't move on that plane like that.
William Allen said ABC was waiting for a reason to get rid of him.
That's what I said. William
was next.
William, listen, they're looking for reasons. That show is not, that show is not making money. It's not making money. It's losing money. Late night used to make jokes. You know what I mean? They used to make jokes. They make jokes about Trump. They make jokes about anybody who's president. You know what I mean? But the thing is, they're no longer jokes. Now it's like fucking, did you see Donald Trump today, that motherfucker? You know what I mean? Like, dude, this is supposed to be, it's not funny anymore. And it's nobody who watches Jimmy Kimmel.
Not me. The View should be next is right, though.
Damn right, The View should be next. They know. Did you know The View didn't even talk about that today? There's a whole thing about that. Normally, The View talks about, they didn't even say one word about Kimmel getting fired because they were told, don't say a fucking word. Not a fucking word. Because you know what's happened? They fucking opened up a can of, with this murder of Charlie Kirk opened up a can of worms. See, just like when, you know how many people said, even Joe Rogan said, when Trump got shot, I fucking was like, this is it. Fuck this shit. You know what I mean? Like, and he went towards Trump. Do you know how many people now want to fucking, are like, you just fucking empowered the whole Republican Party. Who would you vote for as Democrat? Huh?
Yeah. They said
not Stephen A.
13,000 people joined the Turning Point USA.
It's like 19. There's so many fucking, not joined. Open. They want to open like a Turning Point office, like a club. Dude, it's amazing what that, listen, you martyred him, you idiots. You martyred him. It's like Jesus Christ, bro, not for nothing, but when Jesus Christ, when they, I'm not trying to get biblical here, but when, they stuck him before, the people were like, give us Barabbas, the fucking rapist, murderer, and all that shit. Nobody thought, people like, wait a minute, what? You're choosing that piece of shit over Jesus Christ? Hey, he's a little fake, and and I'm just saying, now look what happened. As soon as he died, you martyred him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now his word is even bigger.
Right. I mean, here we are 2,000 years later, Hey, listen, I got the rosary beads on and shit. I'm not going to go to, I don't want to get religious, but, I'm a believer, bro.
Dan said, whatever happened to Hunter Biden's laptop?
Dude, they hid all that shit. They hid all of it. Do you know that I saw a thing today where Donald Trump said, when he was in England, they were talking about the auto pen and shit, and he said that the only pardon that he knows that Joe Biden signed himself was the one for Hunter Biden. Said the rest were all signed. They believed that one guy was doing all of it, and he did not have Joe Biden's authority to do it. They might recall all those fucking pardons.
Yep. Red Knight says Trump walking in front of the king was a boss move. I don't know what.
Dude, what are we doing with these kings? Come on, get over that shit. You know, the royalty. What is all that shit? That fucking guy. I mean, you gave up fucking what's her name, Princess Di, for that fucking beast you're with now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she was cute, Princess Di, when she was young.
William Allen said, you guys heard about the new Knight Rider movie that's in production. Yes, the Knight Rider movie's coming out. I think Hasselhoff's going to have a little cameo in it. But
yeah, I'm not too up on all that stuff. The only Knight Rider I know is the guy who's in here. There's my guy,
Charlie Arms. Hey, Joe.
I like this Charlie Arms is nicer than the other one. But go ahead, Charlie.
Remember the time I knocked out Dick Clark for sticking his lips on the water? Jim?
Charlie, I want to see your ass again. That was good when you ran across the camera. But that's funny. He brings up all these old school guys. He's definitely an old soul.
Yep. Lou Sassol, question for Valentino. What are some of the smelliest bodybuilders in the late 70s and 80s?
Oh, Christ. I don't know about smelly. I mean, when I was in Gold's Gym, I remember, I think I told you, I saw it. Somebody took a shit in the toilet. It was like this fat, right? And it was like this big, and I couldn't believe it. I ran down and I told Ken Kuhn, who used to run the front desk, and he goes, we got a lot of gay guys in the gym, and when he shit, it comes out. And I believe that. So I don't think that's true, but there was a fucking turd, and it was like this fat and like this big. You know what I mean? It looked like Robbie Robinson's forearm.
Wasn't Victor Richards very sweaty? And I don't know if he was.
Yeah, that's why I used the fucking
the sponges, right?
Yeah, that's why I used the sponge. Because not only was he sweaty, but he used to oil up. He would oil himself and then train, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, what the fuck?
The Barbarian Brothers also are pretty nasty, right? But they didn't smell.
Good. They would fart, you know. I mean, I told you, I was, you know, they would stand there and fucking, they'd be talking to a girl and they pick their nose with their pinky, you know, which is, dude, come on, you got to be like an Italian. You got to dig your fucking finger up there, not the pinky. But they used to pick their nose with their pinky. And I remember he was talking, one of them was talking to Cameo Newer, who was Corey Everson's sister. Fucking gorgeous, really hot. Google her, Cameo Newer. Okay, it's K, right? Cameo Newer. And she was so cute, and she had a thong on and shit, and he farted, and it fucking smelled like bacon, and I was like fucking starving. I was like this, oh man, you know, give me some eggs and pancakes with that. It's the best fart I ever smelled.
Ruben Sanchez said, Jimmy who? The only Jimmy I care about is Pleccia.
Yeah, that's who, Jimmy the Pleccia. Yes, Jimmy the Bull.
You got to be a freak.
You got to be a freak. Is that the real? You got to be a freak. That's definitely his thing. That's my guy. Go ahead.
Conan was the only talk show I watched.
I can't watch any of that shit. You know, I mean, I was on Jay Leno. You know that already.
Yeah.
But I can't watch it. Do you know I had a chance to be on Kimmel twice back when I was? Do you know what that cheap fuck didn't want to pay me? Didn't want to pay for my flight.
Mm-hmm. He did.
So you want me to fucking pay for my own flight twice in this 2003, twice, and you did the same thing to me. What's his name? Steve, the guy that does what's that with the fucking Family Feud? Steve Harvey. He had a show too, and he asked me to be. Hey, you know, dude, I'm not paying my fucking flight out there. You fucking crazy? I live in New York. That's L.A., bro. You know, you want me out there? You know, Jay Leno paid. Jay Leno paid me nice. He used to pay me more than anybody. You know what I mean? He was great to me.
And Patrick Bet David was going to pay you to go out there.
Patrick Bet David was had me all set. Yeah, paying for me to go there. But then I had the throat cancer. I would have had to go out there and then the next day to have throat surgery. I couldn't do it. I had to be there in the morning in the hospital. And then he booked me again a couple weeks later. And then I had to have the second fucking operation like a day or two before that. And then we couldn't do it anymore because then that's when COVID hit and he couldn't do any more, and then he moved. This is when he was in Texas.
Wow. That's crazy. John Scuderi said, Greg, I want to get swole like Victor Richards. Do I use 10W30 or 10W40 synthetic oil to oil up before
listen, I don't mean to this is not a racist thing, but he's black. So he used to have like that cocoa butter smell, you know what I mean? Like coconut fucking, because they used to all do that shit, you know what I mean? Because they get ashy, you know what I'm saying? That's what he tried to say. Like, I think he said he was ashy. That's what he told, not me, but the Barbarian Brothers. Because when they were breaking my balls, because they're like, why are you using sponges? And I said, because his fucking arms or slippery. And he would get mad at me because at first I would hold his arms and I'm trying to spot him and do this shit. And he's fucking, my hands are like sliding. He's like, come on, like, what are you doing? You know, I'm like, your fucking arms are fucking sweaty. You know, like they're fucking oily. And then I figured, I'm going to use my, as soon as I used the sponges, it worked. But then, you know, they were like breaking my balls. So I told him about him, and then he got mad at me. Like, instead of like saying to them, like, stop breaking my fucking balls, I'm ashy or whatever. You know, instead of, he gets mad at me. Why you tell him that shit, you know? Little man, he kept calling me little man.
Little man.
Yeah.
Knight Rider said, I wrote about that UFO experience that I saw on a website, and not long after, someone from government wanted to interview me about it.
Oh, shit.
I deleted my account on it and didn't want no part of it.
Yeah, bro. You don't even know if it's really the government. You get some fucking, maybe it's a UFO that, you know, they're like, what are you talking about me?
John Scuderi said, if you watch late night talk shows, then there's a 90% chance your wife pay your in the ass. They've done studies. It's a proven fact.
Nobody watches. It's not like the old days when, you know, Jay Leno was funny. You know what I mean? Like fucking Johnny Carson. They would make jokes. They would say political shit, but they would make jokes, make fun of, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, you know, they would make stuff like, you know, Donald Trump his hair or something, you know, or look at his gut when he's playing golf, you know, funny shit. You know what I mean? Now they're like, he's a fucking existential threat to fucking democracy. He's a fucking Nazi. Meanwhile, his daughter's Orthodox Jew, right? So he's Hitler and a Nazi. His daughter's an Orthodox Jew. She keeps a fucking kosher house. She's married to Jared Kushner, right? Who's an Orthodox Jew. She converted. Her children go on Air Force One with him, her sons, and they wear yarmulkes. And Donald Trump wore a yarmulke at her wedding. So he's the first Jew-loving Nazi. I mean, that's like saying the Ku Klux Klan had like a fucking thing for like all Aryans, you know, like blue-eyed, blonde hair, blue eyes, you know, like, you know, yeah, I'm going to have that, you know, like, wait a minute, I got that backwards. Like forget it. I meant it. Ku Klux Klan who has blonde hair, blue eyes, are gonna have a black dude at their fucking like, yeah, come on over my house. You know, it's bullshit. But when you say this long enough, Joe, if you say it long enough, you get nut jobs that believe that shit.
Yep, of course you do. Big Bad Bear 69 said, "What's the story about Gregg's beef with Louis Marco? Why does Lou hate him?"
Louis Marco.
I don't even know who that is.
You know what it is? Louis Marco was somebody who, as soon as the internet started, he was just a guy who worked out a little bit recreationally. And he even said he would read the magazines and then he would go like, you know, according to like Flex magazine, and he would say these fucking, you know, like, you know, to train the biceps, what you want to do. But he was like, he started when nobody talked about that. So he was one of like 5 people. Even he said it, you know what I mean? So he got a following because people started watching that shit. But, you know, he doesn't believe in cursing. So he, like, you know, he's talked a lot of shit about me with the cursing and a foul mouth and all this shit. And I'm like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't care. I don't have any feeling towards him either way. You know what I'm saying? I just, you know, but like, you know, he doesn't like foul mouth and all that stuff. And he's a pussy too, because as soon as he got a little bit of criticism, he like disappeared. He might be back now. I have no idea.
William Allen said, I quit watching any late night after Leno. Yeah, I stopped watching Letterman, actually. I didn't really watch anyone.
I didn't even like Letterman either. Sometimes they're a little bit too like Pollyannic for me. But I like Leno was good. He was good to me. So
yeah.
You know,
you got to be a freak. Just found out Buff Bagwell lost his leg. Sad. Yeah, he's lost his leg had it cut off, I think a month ago or two. But he's doing well. I talked to him and his wife Stacy. He's doing well. I text him all the time. He's doing all right with it. You know, he's not, you know, taking it hard. He's doing what he has to do. William Allen said, I had some used 20W50 left from my Harley Davidson you can use. I don't know what
there you
go. Mark Burton said, Vegas listener here. Great show. OG Gregg rocks.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Big holiday in Vegas. I love Vegas.
Charlie Arm said, I stopped watching late night shows a long time ago when Jack Parr left the Tonight Show.
Jack Parr. Holy shit. You gotta be.
Jack Parr, I remember him.
Yeah, but he's like, he's like definitely old school. He has so many like these old people, you know, Merv Griffin and shit.
Merv Griffin, yeah. Knight Rider. I preferred Letterman. Yeah, I like Letterman myself.
I mean, he was all right. He was funny. I mean, I liked Leno, but I liked the best was Johnny Carson. To me, that's what I like. I don't want to sound like an old man, but some of you guys too young for that. But
yeah, Roger Babbitt said, "I love Craig Ferguson." Did you like him, Ferguson?
No, I never watched it.
Yeah,
I think I know. Isn't that an English guy or something like that?
Yeah, he's an English guy. Yeah, never really watched too much of it. He was okay though. John Scuderi, what's your opinion on Eddie Robinson and how sort of blackballed and nobody speaks about him because he speaks out against the IFBB?
I don't know anything about that, John. I remember Eddie. You know, I liked him. He had some fucking cannons on him and stuff. And I don't know anything about that. Anybody speaks bad about the IFBB, though, forget about it. That's, you know, talk about like free speech being squashed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy. Unbelievable.
There's no union.
Yeah, Greg, you see all these people on like TikTok and all these people crying as they're getting fired from their jobs after they spoke out.
Listen, free speech. You can't sit here. Can you imagine?
It is funny.
Can you imagine back when George Floyd died, right? If you said, fuck that crackhead. Fuck that crackhead. He fucking sat there and he didn't die because some dude had his knee on his neck. The guy was holding him down. He asked to be taken out of the car and laid on the ground, right? He died because he died. His death certificate said he died of a fentanyl overdose. You know what I mean? But I mean, like, if you said fuck that crackhead or fuck him, his drug addict, you know what would have happened to you back then? You would have been fucking. There would have been enough. You would have been arrested for. I mean, it's a double standard. Listen, the left is finally getting a taste of their own medicine. Did you ever see? Like, just think with the January 6th shit. The only person that died was Ashley Babbitt. They didn't recover guns. There wasn't people in there with guns. When you see the guys breaking the windows, guy had a shield, a fucking shield, right? And he's going like this. He's got a fucking helmet on and a backpack. What is that? That's Antifa. Those fucking guys put on the fucking MAGA hats, the skinny dudes with the fucking backpacks. You know what I mean? Break, bro. It's all bullshit. But hey, listen, you know, it's okay for you guys, but it's not okay now when it comes back to you.
Yeah. Roger Babbitt says, my sister Ashley Babbitt, I guess, loved Greg Guttenfield before she was murdered. Okay. Dan says, I hope TMC gets canceled. Yeah,
TMZ, that was fucking bad too. Those lying fucks. That guy,
they got caught.
You know, ever since he came out and he is gay, right? The guy that the fucking
Harvey.
Yeah,
Harvey,
whatever his name. I noticed he's becoming more almost like feminine. Like, we didn't do things, and you know, he used to be more like, you know, because I was boxing and shit. You know, now he's like fucking. I don't know. They're full of shit. As soon as they announced, you're gonna tell me the timing was like that. As soon as they announced, like, you know, Charlie Kirk was shot. You know, and, you know, whatever. And you hear all these girls, yeah, you know, like in the background, bullshit. He said, oh, they were cheering for a car chase.
Did you see the car chase? It was like nothing to cheer for.
But dude, it's bullshit. You're going to cheer a car. Get out of here. They weren't cheering no car chase. You know what they were cheering. You know?
I don't know. You got to be a freak. Said, Greg, you should do a video with Jerry Branham. Would be interesting. I don't think. How's Jerry?
I don't think Jerry likes me too much.
Why?
I mean, him and I talked a little bit, but you know, he's really left. You know that, right? He's left. He's in. I mean, I think he's very smart. He's an intelligent guy, but you know, dude that lives alone with cats and shit like that, you know, and left. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I mean, I know that when I used to work for Iron Mag Labs, and Christian Duke used to, I think, stoke the fire the flames with me and Jerry. But you know, I have nothing against the guy. I think he's very, very smart. You know, I do. I have nothing against him, but whatever.
John Scuderi said, Greg and I are collaborating on a new pre-workout called Liberal Tears.
That would be great, huh? Imagine that. Liberal Tears. I love it, John.
Liberal Tears, you know, those liberals, man. But, you know, they're crazy, all of them. They are.
But it's funny how they cannot take it, how they can shovel that shit out. I mean, you arrested Donald Trump. You know, I'm waiting for one of those fuckers, you know what I mean, to get arrested. You know, Schiff or one of those guys, Adam Schiff, you know, Swalwell, fucking banging a goddamn fucking spy, you know, all this other shit. And, you know, nothing happens. But Donald Trump was arrested how many times? And, you know, it's amazing. It's just amazing how they can't take it. They can fucking throw stones, but if you throw stones back, they can't take it. Now they're starting to realize, you know, it's just bullshit.
The guy who shot Trump, what's up with him?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows if that was Joe Biden or if that was Barack Obama. Oh my God.
They're nothing. They don't have nothing. No one knows nothing about
nobody
it.
knows anything about him. Just know his name. That's it.
Nothing. No, nothing.
And
If he's in jail or anything.
But see, the thing is, Joe, here's the problem. Finally, I mean, this is what they're talking about now, but finally, and I've been saying this all along, where the fuck do these guys get the money from? Ryan Ruth was homeless, lived in his car, but he had body armor. The gun he had was worth a lot of money. He had all kinds of bullets, fucking explosives, and all this shit. Who finances? Like they were saying today, where does Antifa get these top of the line, even better than some of the cops get, the fucking gas masks and fucking body armor and all? Where did they get that shit from? None of them guys work. They don't work. Where do you get that from?
Somebody's
you gotta follow the money. You gotta follow the money. Somebody's financing that shit. Yeah.
Son of Sammy Davis says, unlike doctors, firefighters don't care about your political views. We just want to do what's best we can help. It's despicable to hear how much hate some of them have.
You get anesthesia. Dude, the chick that was an anesthesiologist, she got tattoos all over her fucking earring in her nose. You know what I mean? Fucking teeth that chipped and shit, all yellow and shit. And she's like, yeah, fuck that. And I'm like, bro, if I fucking saw you as my anesthesiologist, I'd be, excuse me, can we get somebody else here? Because this is, fuck that. You want, what if you're like, even like a waitress in a diner? We don't want to serve you, because you're fucking, like, you got a MAGA hat or you got a fucking, I don't know, a conservative shirt, a shirt with a flag on it. You're gonna hawk spit in your food, you know what I mean? Like stick her finger up her ass and put it in your water like that, because they do that shit, and I'm just saying. Yeah,
that doctor who got fired from New Jersey over here, he tried to get applied to a couple other hospitals. Nobody's taking him now, so he's got to either open his own practice or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but once you get labeled like that, it's going to be hard. Why would you want to go? Unless you're from the left, why would you want to go to him? I'd be scared shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. What if you're a patient that's conservative? Will you trust him to fucking take care of you? He's got such hatred. He's going to be like, yeah, fuck you. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't want him talking. Jack Dorsey says, hi. What's going on, Jack?
Jack Dorsey.
Mark Burton says, Greg, have you considered bringing back the old show, Story Time with Greg?
Yeah, I mean, I should. I got to start doing more shit on my channel. You know what I mean? I'm fucking bad. Yeah. Very, very. I want to do a bunch of things. I'd like to do a radio show. You know what I mean? Like we're talking radio. That's my thing. But I don't want to just do bodybuilding. You know what I mean? I like to do other shit. Talk about other shit like we're talking about here. Who wants it? Who wants to hear? Oh my God, Nick Walker. His ass was really strided. I think he could have really won that show. They had placed second. I don't give two shits about that. Sorry, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not my thing. I could talk about bodybuilding, how to train and stuff. Because I'm always going to be a bodybuilder. I love bodybuilding. It's the sport of bodybuilding has changed so much. It's like, it's ridiculous, but
it's kind of crazy. John Scuderi said, if you had kids and you see how kids have no accountability, they flip flop on subjects and they always cry of the victim. It's easy to compare these liberals to little children. They literally act like,
I just got to say one thing. Okay. When you're young and you see today, kids are more informed that know a little bit more about politics and shit. When I was younger, I didn't know anything about politics. I just remember when Ronald Reagan became president and I heard he got shot, I was almost like pissed that he survived. And meanwhile, now I love Reagan. But at the time, I didn't understand. I think I was one of these kids that just like anybody who was president, I would have hated their guts. You understand? Because, the government, you hear all these other kids, the government, they fuck you, fuck the government, fuck the president. He's no good, I didn't know any better. So I was like, now I look back at that. I'm like, holy fuck. So I understand why some kids today, but then again, kids today, we didn't have the internet. I mean, I had channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even have HBO, I mean, 'cause remember, I'm fucking 65. So I didn't even have HBO, bro. There was no video game. The first video game was like Pong. Boop, boop,
yeah.
boop, today, see, I don't understand all that with these kids that are like that fucking dude that killed Charlie Kirk. His boyfriend, it's not a transgender. His boyfriend, was like wanted to be a professional gamer. How the fuck somebody could play video games as a professional? I can't even watch a video game or play a video game. Like you can give me one of them Wii's or whatever the fuck they are. I can't. That to me, that's time wasting. It's unbelievable how people can spend all day. Pew, 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 pew.
A lot of money in it, though.
Level. Holy shit! I got to the next level. Pew, 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 pew. I could never do that. It's the time wasting like you wouldn't believe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. But there's a lot of money in it, though. There's a lot of money.
I know.
In it,
That's sick, though, that there's money in that. It's just like they're sick that there's money. Girls going like this, hi, you know, and they're coming out in bikini. How do I look in this new outfit? I just bought it today. And fucking horny motherfuckers like friend, like, and my friend, he follows like fucking, like 100,000 chicks. He doesn't even know who they are. Just follows them because they're hot. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I'm like, I see these girls, they have no talent. They have nothing going for them. But because they're even a girl with average looks, if she has a somewhat nice body and she just reveals shit a little bit, you don't even have to go naked. But if you
big tits or something, she just show them off.
it's just unfucking believable. I don't have to work. I got guys paying for my shit, and men are fucking disgusting today. Like, how are my feet? Look at my feet. I just did my toenails today. And guys are like, oh, hair pie. I see her feet. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. Nobody wants to work. I'm gonna be out OnlyFans. It's fucking nuts. Even the same thing with guys.
Yeah, I know the guy Tyler Robinson who got, who's shot Kirk. I still, even though like Knight Rider said that the shot was kind of an easier shot to make, I still can't believe he's the shooter for some reason.
Listen, yeah, he is the shooter. He is. It's not that it's an easy shot. First of all, this kid's been shooting since he was little. He used his grandfather's fucking gun, which he's been firing forever. And if you're standing there and it's on a fucking thing and it's like this, you know what I mean? And you got, a scope is accurate, and you put the little X right there, I was a police officer a small period of time of 2 years. And I was the worst shot in the police academy, but I kept shooting and fucking, below it hit the guy in the groin all the time, I'm just saying, like, but if your gun is accurate, the scope is accurate, that family was very big with guns. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This kid's gun, it was his grandfather's gun. He's been shooting it since he was a kid.
Okay.
I just think like, I believe he was shooting for the middle of the head and he caught the neck, which still it's a kill shot. You know what I'm saying? But, I don't know. Supposedly, though, I think he said was bragging to a friend that he once hit a target at 400 yards. Which is possible. I'm not a gun guy. I shot shotguns and I've shot the hand. I had to do the handgun because I had to, qualify for that. But I'm not really a big gun guy. You know what I'm saying? But those guys that are good with that shit. My son is a fucking like an expert marksman, but he was in the military. This kid wasn't in the military. But the thing is that. With those guns, they're so fucking dead accurate, Joe. There's guys who can fucking hit a dime. My friend, the guy who owns the gym, my friend Mike, right? The guy who owns the gym where I train, my childhood friend, 4 years old. We're both 60. He's 66. I'm 65. We've been friends over 60 years. I seen him with a BB gun. He was a fucking monster with a gun. I seen him with a BB gun shoot a bee out, like a bee was floating around out there, a bumblebee, and he goes, watch this. And he goes, with this, and he shoots the bee right out of the air. He was fucking unbelievable. You could throw a dime and he'd shoot it. You know what I mean? So there are guys who are fucking such experts with guns. Nothing shocks me.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. What is this? Chris Miller, right? Chris Miller says, what was Gregg's thoughts on the 80s bodybuilder Ed Kowak?
Eduardo Kowak. I know him. There's pictures of me and him together.
Okay.
He was good. He had a very unique build, very like rugged, muscle. I used to see him at Gold's Gym. He was a nice guy, but he wasn't, he was strong. He had a strange personality, but he was foreign. You know what I mean?
Knight Rider said, you guys think Anna Paulina Luna is hot? The one in charge of the
UFC? Fuck yeah. Yeah, man. Anna Paulina Luna is fucking a cutie. You ever see her in a bikini? Nancy Mace has a hell of a body too, by the way.
My brothers told me, George, he's in there. He says Turning Point USA has received 32K new campus inquiries.
That's what I said. I knew it was like a couple days ago. It was 19,000. Now it's up to 32,000. That's unbelievable. See, you don't understand. You just martyred that guy. You have no clue. You fools on the left. You fools. You know what I mean? You push more people now. More young people see this, and now they all want to become part of that Turning Point. And they're all looking at, like, for every freak, that's like, I'm so happy. I can't. Every freak that's laughing about that shit on TikTok, listen to me. The Democratic Party right now is the land of rejects and freaks on TikTok. That's what the Democratic Party is. It's all the freaks and rejects. You know what I mean? And you know, there are some people on there. I see these fucking things, and you know, I don't go on TikTok, but I'm on Twitter, right? And they put the fucking, you know, libs of TikTok, and this dude's on there with like fucking grody teeth and shit, and fucking hair sticking out the nose with lipstick on, and they're like, "You thought you can fuck with us, right? Right? Well, why? You see what happened? More's coming." Like, and I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. Go get a fucking toothbrush, first of all." You know what I mean? Brush their fucking, they're not even green. They're brown teeth, you know, and fucking nose hair, and you got lipstick. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep, it's nuts. Did you see, by the way, video Frank sent us? Frank sent us a video of a guy who chopped off the head of a. Did you see that?
Yes.
Did you see the fucking video?
Yes, I saw that video. Dude,
that chopped off the head and rolled it down the fucking street. Like,
he kicked it and it rolled in, and then he picks it up and starts walking.
It's like showing him with it. It picks it
looked
up
like a fucking. Yeah, dude, that was, but that, and you know what? What about the, listen, dude,
fucking crazy, man.
They had a priest today that went up in Dearborn, Michigan. He went before the, you know, the mayor and shit. And he was saying, listen, you got this fucking billboard, like, supporting, like, you know, like, martyrism of, you know, like, you know, killing, like, Christians and all this shit. And, you know, like, you know, and the mayor goes, do me a favor, get out of here. You don't like it? Close your eyes when you're driving. And he goes, you know, we don't even want you here. You don't belong here. Get the fuck out of here. As a matter of fact, I'll be glad when you move out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can't have these savages be fucking mayors and fucking, and, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have Sharia law here. Go fuck, you want to, that's fine. Go live in the Middle East if you want that. You know what the funny thing is, dude? There's a few fucking, and they're not trannies. But there's a few guys who, you know, try to claim they're transgender, right? And they're wearing hijabs, okay? And they got the lipstick on, and they're like, you know, I'm happy about Charlie Kirk and all this other shit, and you know, I believe, you know, Muslim. You know, he talked bad about my people. First of all, you're not Muslim, you're white. Second of all, you're not a woman. Third of all, I dare you to go before a Muslim and go to some fucking mosque with a fucking hijab on, and you're a dude. Watch what happens to you. Watch what happens, okay? Watch what. And the left won't say a fucking word if you get your fucking. They won't say a word. They won't say a word, because when it comes to that shit, nobody goes against them. That's not happening. You could throw Christians down the fucking, you know, in a hole. They don't care. But you start with that other shit, forget about it.
Yep. Skip, what's going on, Skip? How you doing, man? Skip is in there. Yeah, Skip's in there. What do you got in there? Ruben says hello. Let's see, the dude 19.3, a 200-yard shot is an easy shot. I have 20/40 vision without my glasses, and I still ring steel at 300 yards open sights. Oh, okay. I mean, you know, I just
listen, when it comes to look, Joe, it's definitely the guy. They have videos of him on the roof. They have videos of him running down the roof, climbing. I mean, he admits it was him too. I mean, you know, even when he was talking to his little boyfriend there, you know, I used my grandpa. He was more worried about grandpa finding out, like, where's my gun?
The text messages between them.
Where's my gun? You know, funny thing about the gun. You know what I mean? But the thing is, you know, these guys are right. You know, when it comes to, it's different when you're holding a handgun, you know, your hand could move. But this thing was on a thing, you know, because it shows that there was gravel on the roof. And it shows the two holes where where it's on that, you know, it's on a triangle, you know, whatever. It's on like a little tripod thing. And you stand there and you just, Charlie Kirk's sitting there like this. And he says, sitting duck, so to speak. And you just, you know, you fucking line up the fucking thing, and it's perfect. I mean, all you have to do is pull the trigger. It doesn't really take the talent like that to do that. But this kid's done it before, so he knows, you know, it's his gun. You know?
Yeah, I saw the one of the guys who brought Charlie Kirk's body into the van to get him away, to go to the hospital. He was on a podcast, and he was crying like crazy. And they said that when they got Kirk into the back of the van, his body, he was still bleeding from the neck. He said when they turned him over and they looked at his face, he said he was gone. His eyes were.
They said he was done. Probably 10 seconds later, he was dead. That thing, I watched it hit. You can hear, and you hear almost like a splat. The blood just fucking poured out of him. Just fucking poured out of him, Joe.
Because his hands went up. His hands went up as a
He actually was still holding the mic. His one hand went up and he was holding the mic and he went over like this. If you look at it, I mean, I watched it, you know, it's horrible. I mean,
it's horrible. It's really horrible.
I feel bad for the wife and the kids, the little girl. Where's my daddy and all this shit? You know who the fuck? How dare you? And there's a fucking liberal who was on there going, I hope. You know what? I love it. I love it. And then they're gay. And then he goes, I hope to God that his wife gets killed next and his children have to go to foster care. And you know what? I hope they get stuck with a black or a gay family. I'm like, how fucking evil are you? Could you possibly be? Because listen, I don't like Joe Biden. I don't like him at all. But I don't. If he died, I would be pissed. I mean, unless he died of natural causes. But I mean, like if somebody murdered him, I wouldn't support that. I don't support any of that shit, bro.
Yeah.
I don't support any of that shit. I'm sorry. That's just the way I am. I can't do that. You know what I mean? No way. And if I was somewhere and I saw a guy pull a gun like this and was about to shoot even Barack Obama or Joe Biden, I would fucking jump on top of the guy to stop it. I wouldn't be like, oh, fuck it, kill him. I'm not for that. Sorry.
Yeah. Dean says the world became more connected than ever, but the distance growing between us all is getting farther.
Because you know what? It just, guys, I'm sorry, but it just amazes me. It amazes me how the left just doesn't get it. It don't get it. That's like, if you have a farting problem and you're with your girlfriend, you keep farting, and your girlfriend's like, listen, I know, do you love me? Yeah, I love you to death. I don't ever want to lose you. You fart, you're turning me off. You're making me look at you like in disgust. And you're like, I don't want to lose you. And you keep doing it. And it's like, I guess you don't get the picture. Listen to me. When they went after Trump, that's when Joe Rogan said, that was the moment I knew right then and there, Trump's my guy. You know how many people said that? There's people that didn't like Trump even said the minute they tried to assassinate him. And it was actually 3. Remember, they stopped one before it happened. And then they got that guy, Ryan Ruth, where he had the gun through the thing. They stopped one before there was a guy who planned it and he was going to go do it, but they caught him, you know what I mean, before he even left his house. But there was there was 3 and not 2, but 3, And I'm just saying, you don't get it. You fucking people don't get it. They lost the fucking election. Nobody wants to hear that pronoun shit. Nobody wants to hear all that BLM, Black Lives Matter, all that bullshit, right? But they're still doing it. They're still doing it. You're still farting in front of your girlfriend. She told you, you're making me sick. I keep it up, and I'm not going to be with you no more. And now she wants to break up with you, and you don't get it. You're still doing it. Please don't break up. And you're like, dude, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're going to keep doing the same shit.
Yeah. I saw one debate Kirk was doing with some girl, and Kirk said, "Oh, the black guy," and she said, "Oh, you said black. Why'd you say black? Is that racist?" And he goes, "Isn't there a movement called Black Lives Matter that you guys created?" I mean, so it's crazy. These people throw words around. Like, oh,
it's out of control, Joe. It's out of control now. It really is. The word racism, it no longer has any fucking power anymore because they use it all the time. I'm racist. With the BLM shit. You don't even hear about BLM much anymore because they're gone. Barack Obama, black people today, meanwhile, he lives in a white community, right? What did he do you had 8 years of a black president. Did he do anything for black people? They're still bitching. Slavery and this, it ain't fair. Nothing. Bullshit. That's victim fucking thinking. I was just talking to my friend who's black yesterday, and he was saying the same shit. He goes, they don't get it. They just don't get it. Well, because he hates Barack Obama. He's like, he's Judas to black people. You know what I'm saying? They don't get it, though. They don't get it. It's just amazing.
Dean says, I came up with a new invention for Gregg. I'm going to make suppositories with dried habanero powder.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Thanks, Dean.
Yep.
I guess you don't like me.
Chris Miller said, what's your thoughts on Robbie Robinson's latest interview where he says the only reason where he didn't win an Olympic was because Joe Reeder was a racist and stuff?
No, he's a liar. He's a fucking terrible liar. He's a liar. Okay, I know Robbie. He's a liar. Okay, he was on more covers. He was on a lot of covers of Muscle Builder. He's been on Flex, and they made the Mr. Olympia. He won the Masters Olympia. They made it for Lou Ferrigno, but they gave it to Robbie Robinson. That's a fact. So how could we? I'm tired of that shit. Everybody's a victim today. It's the victim card. You know what I mean? I'm tired of that shit.
1974 said the left are really confused.
It's just, but you keep doing the same thing. Name one person who you fear, like oh my God, you know, if they ever run for president, we're fucked. I used to say Michelle Obama because they're such fucking like Obama. But even her now, and you know, there's nobody on the left. They have nobody. They have nobody.
No.
You know, even what's her name came out today, Kamala Harris, because in her book she said she didn't want Tim. What a weirdo that fucking guy is, Tim Walz. But she said I didn't want Tim Walz. I want the Pete Buttigieg, but I knew that people weren't ready for that. I'm really gonna vote for some guy who had a fucking bra with a fake boob in it, and it put the milk in there, and he was breastfeeding his kid. I'm going to vote for that. That's what I want as my president. Yeah, the rest of the world. Imagine the Arab world. Imagine the fucking Muslim world looking at us. Think about it. You see their president? He's fucking breastfeeding a baby. Imagine that shit. Oh, man. We'd be the fun. Dude, I like the way Trump steps in front of people. Remember what he did with Macron when he was president the first time? He stepped in front of him, almost like pushed him to the back. You know what I mean? Because you let him know, don't fuck with me. I love it.
Yep, that's right. Dean said Mike Menser, Olympia was a robbery. That dude was spot on. Mike Menser was the man.
Nah.
The dude, 1983. I don't know, Greg. My girl farted in bed the other night, and I stuck my head under the blanket to sniff that shit.
Well, yeah. Listen. You know, my girlfriend could throw him with the best of her mother. Got nuclear power coming out of it. Listen. When a hot girl farts, it's sexy. Okay, I'm convinced. Like fucking Amber Heard or fucking Ariana Grande, Amber Heard when she was younger. You know, Ariana Grande, I'm convinced like nothing, that little tiny ass that she has, nothing bad could come out of it. If she threw the worst fart in the world, it would smell like fucking Joe's girlfriend's Morella's fresh baked chocolate chip cookie. Morella makes great chocolate chip cookie. I'd be like, oh, Ariana, give me, do you have any brownies in here too? Oh yeah, that's it. Fart again. You know what I mean? There's nothing, but you know, I can't picture her fucking farting or waking up with bad breath or anything.
Craig Velasquez says Pete Buttigieg could possibly be the president.
No, there's no way. She knew that, Craig. So that's why she said, like, you know, they pushed her to get Tim Walz because they knew, dude, you can't get Pete Buttigieg. He's a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Not just because he's gay, but he looks like a big happy Larry up there. You know, what respect are you going to get from other nations? What do you think Vladimir Putin would say when, you know, there's Buttigieg with his kid he's got a fake fucking boob in what looks like a bra, and they fill it with milk so gay men can, you know.
Putin would laugh at us.
Dude, come on, man. This world is fucked.
It is, you know. I know that
they make something like that, Joe. It's fucking sick.
Morella said, Greg, are you comparing my baking to farting?
No, I'm saying if I picture Ariana Grande with something like your beautiful cookies that you make, and in your presentation, and when she puts them in a box, it looks like Morella makes these cookies and you know, like pastries and stuff. It looks like she bought them from an Italian bakery. She's a great cook. You know, I'm actually giving your cook. I'm saying Ariana Grande. I picture like you smell like you. That's like an honor for your cook because your cooking is beautiful.
You got to be a freak. Thoughts on DHEA?
No go. I don't like that. I've taken it and I've got nothing from it. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe it was fake. You know what I mean? I just, you know, it's a precursor and shit. I don't. I mean, they sell them in Walmart. You know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'd rather just cut to the chase and do the babanya. Don't do all the SARMs and bullshit. Just cut to the chase, do the babanya.
Yeah, Dean says people are very selfish with their farts. When they smell the best, everyone wants to hide and run away.
Well, I'm just saying, you can't picture a hot chick doing that shit. Or like, what's the Kate Beckinsale when she did like when she was in the movie Underworld, and she had the curly hair and she was young and hot. Man, you couldn't picture her fucking go, hey, pull my finger, you know, and then you're like, oh my God, that is that fucking fresh baked bread. Wow, that's great. You know, you can't picture being like, holy fuck, it's like fucking fried eggs and fucking they were like fucking 5 days old. You know.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk, I bet you would have been a president in about 10 years.
They said that he was listen. And
they just got him because they knew they didn't want to deal with him.
They keep saying he's racist, misogynist, you know, sexist, anti-gay. It's not anti-gay. Nobody gives a shit. Who cares what you do? I don't care if you want to marry your dog. As long as your dog's down with it and you're down with it, and you two fucking whatever, marry your dog. I don't give a shit what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Who
I always see
cares?
that question, what is a woman? They always ask, what is a woman? You're like Matt Walsh, what is a woman? And those guys never can answer the question. None of them. Oh, it's
Well, the
what you
thing
wanna
is,
be.
they start that. Well, it's a birthing person, but birthing person.
I identify as a
Dude,
table.
listen. Okay, even the trannies. Okay, the hottest ones. I could show you ones that you guys would marry. Trust me, you would not know. They get the bestially got cut off but it's a trans one. It's not a woman. It's not. If there was a fire and you and her were in bed together and fucking the house burned down, you know what they'd say? 2 men were found dead in the bed because they could tell by the skeleton. I'm just saying. It's still, it looks good. It looks, you fuck the shit out of it, but it can't. It's a woman, genetically. There's just two sexes, This comes from a guy who would bang a tranny. Okay, I'm telling you, there's 2 sexes. There's male and female.
That's it.
Doesn't matter. You know what? You could take the hottest fucking tranny. She's gorgeous. No dick's gone. The whole bit. You fucking bury her, and somebody will dig her up in 1,000 years, and they'll be like, "Yes, this is okay. We found a skeleton of a young fragile male." You know what I mean? But it's not going to be like it's. There's nothing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah. What do you think of Ben Shapiro? By the way,
Ben Shapiro, Barack Obama, he's got that fucking yarmulke. I don't know. I can't take him serious. He's okay. I like him, but sometimes he's too much. Just like him and fucking who I used to like Candace Owens too. Him and her should be in a fucking on a desert island together, thrown in a room together, because now they're like enemies. You know what I mean? And Candace Owens came out the other day with this whole spiel. If you think that you're going to take over, because he said I'm going to run Turning Point, I'll take over for Charlie, because they were friends. And she's like, if you think that that's going to happen over my dead body, and I will fucking fight you to the death, and all. Oh my God, Candace, give it a break. I used to like her.
His wife is the CEO now. I said.
Yes, the wife is the CEO, and that's the way it should be. Sorry, but she's badass too. Let me tell you something. I give that woman all the credit in the world.
Did you see that speech?
How hard that shit is? Yeah, man.
Oh, that was tough.
The worst thing I can't watch is when I see the video of Charlie Kirk with his little daughter, and you're at the table, and he's telling his daughter how the love story between him and how she was made. I can't watch that. It kills me. That little girl, she keeps asking mommy, "Where's daddy?" You fucking piece of shit. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but I can't, Yeah.
And she said to her daughter, said he's on a mission with God.
Yes.
He's gonna be a while.
Yeah.
Be a long time.
He's getting you your blueberries and all this other shit so you make money.
It's tough to watch.
But what do you do? What is she supposed to say? There's some guy killed him. So you're not going to see him again. No. Yeah. You can't do that. What's wrong with you people? The people are sick. But too many people are like, fuck that kid. Fuck her. I'm sorry, but I don't have any feeling to her. Well, you know what? The Italian horns, what the karma that you wish, when you wish bad on other people, bro, right back at you. Right back at you.
Yeah. If those people had any balls, they would go to the kid and see what.
God works in mysterious ways. You could not believe in God, whatever, but sometimes nothing will happen to you. But there's people you love. You understand? Watch that karma. Watch that karma. I'm just saying.
What's up, John Saldy? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're feeling well. Well, Greg, we're over an hour in already, man.
I can't believe it always goes so fucking fast. It always goes so fast.
Yep. Yankees are winning 7-0. So
yeah, but they're beating Baltimore. Which I'm happy about that. But they've been, they make me shit my pants. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Slow and steady.
Sucks.
The pitching does suck. All right, man. John Saldy, John Scuderi, Skip, Dan,
all you guys. I love you
Dean,
guys.
Chris, of course, Ruben Sanchez, Brian Pablo, Knight Rider, Mark. All you guys. We appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thank you guys. Like, subscribe, and we will see you guys next week, brother.
Thank you guys. I love all yous. Stop fucking around and do only good thoughts. None of that bad shit with that shit.
Yep.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. Jay-Z pumping iron. Bodybuilder coding. Years on the